Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and hello if you're new. Make sure that you subscribe before you leave. That way you'll never miss out on another video. In today's video, we're going to be doing a reading, a pick a card reading for everything that we are saying goodbye to in the year 2019. So 2019 is ending in a few days, and why I wanted to do this reading is to gain a little bit of clarity on what it is exactly that we're leaving behind, that we're not taking with us, that we are done with, that we said goodbye to, that we found closure with, that we healed. All right, so what you're going to do is pick a card, or go ahead and pick a crystal if you're more drawn to the crystal. You're going to pick card group number 1, or the Citrine crystal. You're going to pick card group number 2, or the Amethyst crystal. Card group number 3, or Euphoria crystal. Or card group number 4, the Labradorite crystal. So go ahead and make your choice, and let's get started. By the way, if you guys are interested in any of these crystals, they are up in my store right now. I'll leave the link down below. For everybody that picked card group number 1 or the Citrine crystal, let's go ahead and get started. What are you saying goodbye to in the year 2019? What are you leaving behind? Card number 1 is forgetting oneself. This goes pretty deep. Okay, so I feel like in the year 2019, you didn't really pay a lot of attention to yourself. You kind of neglected yourself. You put yourself on the back burner, and you gave a lot of your attention and energy away to others, to your job, to responsibilities, obligations, and whatever else situation that came up in your life. I feel like maybe there was a sudden situation that came up that didn't even allow you to give yourself a lot of your own time and attention and energy and love. But in the year 2020, I feel like expect that to change. You're no longer going to feed your energy and attention to things outside of yourself that really suck you dry. Like take all your life energy, your life force away from you. You're leaving that behind. You're no longer going to exert your energy on outside of yourself to a point where you're drained, where I feel like you did that a lot in the year 2019, which you have the intensity card, the burden card. Like, this was intense. 2019 was a intense, heavy year for you. You had a lot on your shoulders. I feel like you were burdened with so much. What I see is like situations and circumstances happened in your life that were out of your control, that created such heaviness within you, on your shoulders, on your heart. But expect to leave that behind. Expect to leave that into 2019. I feel like you're going to heal from whatever happened. You have worked really, really hard to heal it and to get closure. And as 2019 ends, expect to find more healing and more closure, so that this feeling, this emotional state, this energy is not going to follow you to 2020. The next card I see is the Priestess card. How are you being called to step up and lead? So in 2019, I feel like you felt like you didn't have control. You didn't have control over your life. You didn't have control over situations. It's just, you kind of felt helpless and hopeless a lot. It was a lot of struggles and like challenging times in 2019, but expect to leave those behind. In 2020, you're going to come into your own power. I feel like you're going to dive more into your spirituality, and you're going to become more powerful at manifesting. And it is because of all these things that you went through in 2019. These things built you up. And I know that you didn't feel it at the time, because at that time you felt like, probably, why is this happening to me? Like, why me? You know, like I'm trying to do everything right. I'm trying. And the universe was kind of cracking you open. It's kind of breaking you open to bring out that divine light, to bring out that high priestess energy or high priest energy. So expect to come into your power in 2020. This energy of like you feeling like you can't control anything, you feeling like you just can't grasp, you just can't catch a break. Expect to leave that behind. You're saying goodbye to that. Now, the next card that comes up is surrender your fear of intimacy. You're ready to let love in. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful card. So in 2019, you were very afraid to love, and you were afraid to trust. You were afraid to let people in. You were afraid to be vulnerable and just reveal your vulnerabilities, reveal your weaknesses, just reveal your story of things that happened to you, of how you feel, of what you believe. You were afraid to reveal these things to people, whether they were new people that came into your life or relationships that you have had forever. Like, you were just afraid to reveal all of who you are. Expect to leave that behind. You're saying goodbye to that. In 2020, you are revealing who you are, and you don't give a shit what anyone thinks. And also in 2020, I see an energy of you becoming this person. You're just like, take it or leave it. This is me. I accept me. I put in the work to become this version of me, and I'm proud of it, and I love it, and I'm happy with it. I'm happy with who I am. And if you're not, then you're vibrationally not aligned with who I am. Then you can leave, simple as that. It doesn't have to be violent. It doesn't have to be rageful, resentful, sad. It's just, hey, we're not vibrating at the same frequency anymore, and that's okay. It's a very powerful energy that you're cultivating, and it's a very healing type of energy that you're cultivating, and a lot of things you're leaving behind in 2019 that were holding you down, that were burdening you. Everything that was burdening you, expect to leave it behind in 2019. It's not coming with you in the new year. It's a whole new energy for you in the coming new year. So another thing I see is surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. This is a big one, you guys. So a lot of the things that were limiting beliefs, toxic beliefs, stories that you created within your mind because of traumatic past events, these are staying behind in 2019. You have become aware of what these are. You faced them. You faced them. You faced your demons. You faced your shadows head on. And I feel like you faced them even terrified, and even knowing or believing within yourself that you're going to break. You're going to shatter. If you face these demons, you don't even know if you're going to make it. If you're going to, make it to the other side. But you still did it. You still did it. Even thinking all of those thoughts, you still did it. You did the inner work. And a lot of the times, I feel like you did the inner work, not even knowing what the heck you were doing. But the universe was guiding you. And it was guiding you to this point of leaving behind all of the negativity that you cultivated within yourself because of traumatic past events. So expect in 2020 a clean slate. And another thing is the fact that you picked the citrine crystal. You were drawn to this crystal because this is a crystal of luck, of manifestation, happiness, warmth, joy, cheer, adventure, just overall very, very good, happy energy. So that's what I'm seeing for 2020 for you is a clean, happy slate, new positive vibration, newness, adventures, a lot of happiness. And that's because you're leaving behind the burdens of 2019 in 2019. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching. For everybody that picked card group number 2 or the Amethyst crystal, let's go ahead and see what are you leaving behind in the year 2019. The first card I see is surrender your ego. This is so powerful, you guys. This is beautiful. For you guys that picked Amethyst crystal, and then this spread is my favorite. Cultivate gratitude, be of service to others, and come from your heart. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals. Okay, so in 2019, I feel like you lived in a place from your ego a lot. Ego is where, let me just give an example. Say you're trying to attract the love of your life, or say you're in a relationship with the love of your life. Your ego sometimes will come in and cause you to doubt, cause you to fear, cause you to mistrust, because your ego is trying to protect you at all costs. Even when you don't need the protection, your ego's in the back of your mind like, hey, go through the phone. Hey, are you sure they're telling the truth? Hey, Don't trust that. You know, like your ego does that to your ego is constantly messing with you, but it doesn't mean to. Your ego is trying to protect you, but you don't need that protection. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like another thing is you worked from your ego a lot because of things that happened in your past. You always felt the need to protect yourself even more. You know, the hurts and the traumas of your past made your ego go into overdrive. But expect your ego to quiet down and expect your ego to really shut up. Because you're leaving it behind. All that like unnecessary mistrust, unnecessary fear, unnecessary guilt, you know, unnecessary stuff holding you back that was caused from your ego. Expect to leave it behind. You're not taking that with you in 2020. You've put up with enough from your ego, and you realized it. And I feel like that's a huge journey that you went on this year, on 2019, and you're done with it. And now you're no longer going to be living from that egoic place. Now you're going to be, in 2020, you're really going to follow your own path, follow your own gut, your own voice, your inner voice. You're going to have this connection with God, divine, the universe, whatever it is you believe in. You're going to really trust it, and every time that you get that nudge, you'll know that it's from your higher self. You know, that you'll feel it. Like sometimes, how do I say this? Like, you know, sometimes you just know something, like, especially if it's something good. How do I even explain it? Like when you get super excited about something, you know that it's a good thing for you because there's a reason you got excited. That's your inner voice. That's your intuition. That's the universe working through you. Excitement is God working through you. So every time you feel excitement, acknowledge that's the God within you. That's God energy within you. It's like glitter. That's how I can feel. Like, that's how I can explain it to you. It's like glitter flying around inside of you. That's what excitement feels like. And I feel like a lot of exciting energy coming through in the year 2020. And that's because your ego is no longer in the way. Keepers of the earth, you are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. Ooh! The initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. You broke your ego in 2019. You found a way to shut it up, and I feel like you don't even know how, like, you did it, but you didn't even know you were doing it. You found ways to quiet the ego. You found ways to shut it up. You found ways to heal it, to overcome it, to overpower it. And you didn't even know that you were doing these things. I feel like you just thought that you were just kind of going with the motions. You were just going with every day. Or that you were probably just like, you didn't even know what you were doing. But what you were doing was heavily guided by your ancestors, by your spirit guides, by the universe. And they were guiding you to overcome your ego and to gain control over it and gain power over it. And now you're leaving the unhealthiness of the ego behind in 2019. And you've been initiated. Your ancestors are proud of you. I'm getting goosebumps. Your loved ones that have passed on are proud of you. They were backing you up. They were supporting you. They were guiding you. Like, they were guiding you through all of this. And I don't think you even knew it. I think maybe you felt it in the back of your mind. Maybe you smelled past loved ones that passed on. Maybe you smelled their perfumes. Maybe you smelled their scent around sometimes, you know. These are signs that they're near, that they're guiding you and supporting you. And I feel like that happened a lot in the year 2019. And here's another thing I really heavily feel is that you don't even know how you got through half the things you got through in 2019. Like, you pushed through no matter what. There's a saying, like, even if you have to crawl, keep moving forward. And that's what you did. And I feel like you had the help of your ancestors, and now they've initiated you. Now you have leveled yourself up vibrationally to a whole new frequency. So you left behind a low vibration. You're leaving behind a very low vibration in 2019. You're in 2020. I see a huge rebirth of your intuition, of your spirituality, of you listening to your own path, following your own path, following your own judgment. You know, now you're gonna do what you want, and you are like, now it's time. And another thing I see is there was a heartbreak. There was definitely a heartbreak. It seems like it was romantic. If you guys are in a relationship and you're still together, there was something that happened. Either it was a major fight, a betrayal of trust, something that happened this year that really broke you and really kind of made a dent in the relationship. But expect healing. Like, expect to leave the hurt and the pain behind in 2019. In 2020, you're not going to cry over it anymore. If the heartbreak was so bad that you ended up leaving the relationship, or the relationship ended, then expect those feelings to like no longer bother you. You know, you're going to heal from it, and you're going to find the closure before the year ends, and you're not going to take that with you in the year 2020. And amethyst is the crystal of healing. It's the crystal of your intuition, of your inner voice, your spirituality, of killing your ego. So that's why you were drawn to the amethyst crystal. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. That was such a beautiful reading. Thank you guys so much for watching. For everybody that picked card group number 3, or the Euphoria crystal, let's go ahead and see, what are you leaving behind in 2019? Okay, the first card I see is the number 4, and it's asking, is this me? So I feel like in 2019, you were going through this period of time where you didn't fully understand who you are, what you want from life. These are things you were trying to figure out in 2019. There was a lot of confusion. I feel like there's a lot of wandering, switching paths, you know, just mental cloudiness, mental fogginess. You didn't have mental clarity. It was hard for you to make decisions. You know, that kind of energy was very dominant in 2019. But expect to leave it behind. You're no longer going to question yourself in 2020. 2020 is going to be a year of mental clarity, of sharp mental clarity. Like, now you're going to know. You're just going to know. You're going to trust in yourself and your thoughts and your voice, your inner voice. That comes to the second card, which is the card of understanding. So in 2019, I feel like there was a lot going on that didn't even allow you to understand a lot of things, which in turn caused a lot of turmoil and struggles and challenges. Now, I feel like maybe in childhood, you were kind of closed off, maybe very protected, I don't know how to explain this. I'm like at a loss for words right now. Let me try to explain it. And how, like, my childhood, I was very secluded, not exposed to a lot of things. Like, I didn't even know what my period was when I started it. You know, like, you weren't exposed to a lot. You were very secluded. You're kept like a little doll in the house. Like, you know, not allowed to talk to boys, no dating. Like, you couldn't go to school dances. So when you're thrown out into the world, and then these things are like normal to other people, and you're just like, what the heck? Like, you're allowed to have sex? Like, what? I thought you're not allowed until you're married. Like, now I feel like this is a lot of the things that were happening in 2019, where you were just like, wait, what? That's normal? Or like, hold on, what? Like, it was a lot of that kind of like, what? Kind of energy. And you didn't understand a lot. It just caused a lot. It threw you off, you know. It threw you off because you didn't understand, and you were just like in shock, you know. Now, in 2020, now you're coming into being exposed to all of these things, these new things to you. They're new, and now you're just like, I want to follow that path. Or, you know what? I've been taught all my life not to do this, or that this was wrong, or that this was not a path for me, or I wasn't allowed, and now I want to try it, or I want to do this, or I want, you know, maybe all your life you were taught that you were not allowed to eat strawberries, and then now you're just like, I want to try a strawberry, you know? It's that kind of energy. So you're definitely leaving behind a lot of limits that were set on you. And I feel like a lot of these limits were set on you through childhood, through school, through past relationships even, through your parents, religion, traditions, whatever they were. You're leaving that behind. And a lot of these things affected your root chakra. This is the number 4. This is the number of your root chakra, which is like your stability, how safe you feel in where you are in your life, financial security, you know, all of these things you were struggling with because I feel like you were closed off to so much information, and you're leaving all that behind. You're no longer going to be closed off in 2020. You're going to have this whole new understanding of the world. You're going to see the world, experience the world in whole new different ways. And that's the energy of the Euphoria crystal. Euphoria. Expect 2020 to be a year of euphoria, euphoric experiences, euphoric memories, euphoric creativity. And in 2019, you're leaving behind everything that was coming between you and you feeling that euphoric feeling. Trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So I feel like there was a lot of times you felt like you wanted to do something, or you felt like you wanted to go on a certain path or try something new, or maybe like you were taught that you weren't allowed to date until like you weren't allowed to date, you know? And then now you're just, and you always had that itch, like, you know, I kind of want to experience that connection of, you know, going on a date with somebody, just going out to a movie, you know, and you had that niggling feeling within you, but you couldn't act on it. And in 2020, like you're going to allow yourself to experience a whole lot more that you didn't allow yourself to experience in 2019. So expect to leave behind you yourself holding yourself back, you know, expect to leave behind boundaries that you set or that were set upon you. And the last card is surrender the drama. No matter how emotionally charged the situation, remain calm and don't contribute to the drama. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. So something else I see is that when these things were coming into your awareness, that you were being held back, that you were not exposed to so much, you know, I feel like it created resentment, you know, against whoever was holding you back or whatever was holding you back. It created resentment within you. This is another thing that you're leaving behind in 2019 is all the resentment. Now you're just going to be like, you know what? Hey, look, it happened. You know, hey, this is how I grew up. This is how I've been taught. This is what happened in a previous relationship, whatever the case was. And you're just going to surrender the drama of it. Like, you're just going to be like, you know what? It happened, whatever. I'm going to experience my life now. I now have the choice to do whatever I want to. And now I am aware of my choice. And I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to. And I'm going to feel euphoric. And I'm going to feel it no matter if you like it or not. And so that's what the energy is going to look like in 2020. So you're leaving behind boundaries in 2019. Everything that was holding you back, you're leaving behind. And I'm really excited for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. For everybody that picked card group number 4 or the Labradorite crystal, let's go ahead and see what you're leaving behind in 2019. The first card that comes up is Fated to Suffer. This is very interesting. Second card is Awareness. Then we have Exhaustion with the number 9. And then we have the Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. And then we have Surrender Defensiveness. Defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out, then offer a clear and non-defensive response. This is interesting. I feel like you guys would benefit a lot from the reading, the group 3 reading, the Euphoria crystal reading has a lot to do with this reading. So, first card, Fated to Suffer. I feel like you grew up with this mentality that life is hard, life is supposed to be challenging, you have to work really, really hard, like life is supposed to be unfair, blah, 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 blah. Life is only good for the rich. Like that kind of mentality I feel like was pushed on you a lot, and that you're fated to suffer. And now you're leaving this behind because in 2019, a lot of new awareness came into your mind. I feel like you were exposed to a lot of things where you just kind of questioned that mentality, and you started to question, like, do I really deserve to suffer? Do I really deserve to have a hard life? No, I don't. And I feel like you changed that. And I feel like you are probably one of the only people, one of the first of your family, of your generations, to change that mentality. And I feel like maybe you got a lot of hate from it, from your family, that you want to live your lifestyle in a different way, where you believe that, like, life is not hard. And I feel like a lot of jealousy came your way, negativity came your way from your family, because you wanted to pursue a different lifestyle, a different path. And that's because you became aware that you don't have to live a life where it's hard, or it's rough, or it's challenging, or it's negative, Another thing I see is in 2019, you were exhausted, a lot of exhaustion. And this exhaustion came from, like, you unraveling your belief system. A lot of exhaustion came from just learning about who you are, and releasing all of the clutter and all of the past stuff that you were holding on to, that were instilled in you, that didn't serve you. And you releasing that was exhausting, because there was a lot of things that came with it, like guilt of releasing all of that stuff, guilt of following your own path, fear can exhaust you. But really expect to leave that behind in 2019. You're no longer going to take this exhaustion with you. In 2020, it's the age of light for you. You're connecting. Do you see that? You're connecting. Your chakras are awakening. You have been training for this for lifetime. So there was a quote that I put up on my Instagram page. I don't know exactly how the quote goes, but it's something like, when something feels natural to you, it's because you've been doing it for lifetimes. When something feels familiar to you, it's because it was in your life for lifetimes, Like people like Stevie Wonder, they're so gifted because at that certain things, because they were doing that over lifetimes, Like some love stories happened every single lifetime. That's why when you see that person, that you had different lifetimes with, so it's that kind of energy that's coming in 2020. So in 2019, I feel like there was a lot of things that you shed that didn't align with you, that didn't feel familiar, that didn't feel natural. That's a big one. Like, expect to leave behind everything that didn't feel familiar and didn't feel natural to you in 2019. Because in 2020, now it's like you're coming into who you're supposed to be, who you truly are. Surrender defensiveness. I feel like you became defensive a lot, and it comes back to like family, because I feel like you just were like butt heads a lot, saying like, you know what, it doesn't make sense. Like, you guys are not questioning this. It doesn't make sense. And you would just get into a lot of fights. But expect to leave that behind, because I feel like your family is going to see that whole new energy within you. And a lot of your family members are going to come to you for advice and to ask you about the new path, and to really just look to you because they see you in a new light. And they also see that, like, life doesn't have to be a certain way that they were taught, and you broke out of it, and now they want to break out of it too, because they saw you break out of it. Now, another thing that I see, number 9, a number of endings. So definitely you're ending that period of your life where you were supposed to be a certain thing, or a certain person, or a certain way. You no longer are that. That's why you were so drawn to Labradorite crystal. This is my favorite crystal. As you can see, I'm always wearing them. By the way, if you guys want Labradorite crystals or bracelets, they're up in my store. I'll leave it linked down below. But Labradorite is a stone of magic. It's the stone of transformation. It creates change within your life, beautiful, magical change. It aligns you to the frequency that is your natural frequency. It aligns you to your natural vibration. So it will help you shed away everything that doesn't match. It's the stone of synchronicity. So it brings things to you in the right place at the right time. It's a very magical stone. It just helps you on your journey, clears away your chakras, clears away negativity, and just adds and enhances and amplifies the magic in your life. Let me tell you, it does that. Like, I am never ever disappointed with this crystal. And so I feel like that's the energy that is coming in, is that magical energy where now you're free to be what you want, to do what you want, and you're no longer held back and held down by this mentality that life is supposed to be hard. You're leaving that behind. So I hope you guys found clarity and got ready and got really excited for 2020 because it's going to be a very magical year. And thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys in my next video.